We are back in the shop today. We're talking about tools. Specifically, what kind of tools do new homeowners need most? I have a wide assortment of well-used and dependable tools. And the tool containment unit. Yes, all these tools fit into the bag and they're a go-to source for any homeowner, especially new homeowners. So we're actually going to start over here, work our way back towards the bag. And we're actually going to start with the squeaky wheel gets the grease. A couple kinds of oil. This we use for door hinges and other general squeaks around the house. Most brands will do. Another great one that works really well is not on the table, but it's lithium grease. If you find some good lithium grease, this will help with a lot of squeaks and noises and things like that. So lubrication for doors, for the hinges, and other such things, ranging from the oils to the grease. Next are pliers. So needle nose pliers, regular pliers. I do not have my lineman pliers here. Most homeowners don't really need those. And then of course the side cutters and the snips. Yeah, these are like aviator snips. They're just straight ones. They have right and left as well. And the tin bashers out there, they use them all. Next is a set of drill bits. Drill bits are always good for odds and ends and things like that. We have our pencil, and we also have this bit. It's got a nice little pointy end on it, right there. Good for going into wood. Never use this on metal. We have bits for wood and bits for metal. There are bits for both, but I like to keep them separate. Now next I have my wood chisels. They come in handy. This one is going to be our candidate for honing. It's sharp, but it's, yeah, you don't use these for pulling nails out. We'll get to that in a moment. Get to my tape measure in a moment as well. One thing I wanted to say about the chisels is your bevel. A little bit about chisels. Your bevel always rests on the work. So that's your bevel, just like in wood turning. Always rests on the work and then goes in. So I'm gonna do another episode on honing and sharpening. Okay, so that's the chisels. This thing keeps falling over, so this is the tape measure. Always good to have a couple tape measures around. You don't need a 30-footer or probably even like a 26-footer, but this 10-footer works great for in and around the house. Next is a set of Allen keys. This is a newer set that I had purchased somewhere along the way because I was in a bind for one of these smaller ones. This set here I have probably had for 20 years and works very well still. And those are, you're always need something for Allen keys. Next, a couple different kinds of tape. I just have the masking tape and the painter's tape. You don't always have to get this wide, but it's always nice to have some tape around somewhere. I have a box with painting stuff in it, and that's where this one is. This one just works great for general tape needs. What else you need, which is not here, is electrical tape and the Teflon tape. If you can find the pink one, get that one. But that's Teflon tape for plumbing, and electrical tape, the black one, which I neglected to put out here. Now, getting a little bit farther down, these are air tools. If you have a compressor, you don't need that big of a compressor, but it's always good to have a tire gauge and to have a good, solid, stable chuck. That's it for pumping air. Next are screwdrivers. Of course, the ubiquitous multi screwdriver. This is ratcheting, which is like super. I love that. But what I love more is my individual screwdrivers. It's nice to have one of these, but I prefer to have individual ones. And always have, see if I can get this to focus here, always have one of these small standard screwdrivers. This is not for prying lids off. Very important to use screwdrivers for driving screws and not pulling the lids off of cans. For that, always have one of these or two of these around in your paint box. We have a milk crate for all of our paint supplies, and these are what you want. Don't waste your screwdrivers on opening lids. Next, paint brushes. Now you'll notice this ferrule is nice and clean. And notice my paint line? Yes. So when you take care of your brushes, I know that they're not that expensive, but I like to keep my brushes around. And notice this one? I should have to do laps around the gym because this one, as you can see, got the paint or the stain all the way up onto the ferrule and into the bristles here. We always try and keep our paint about a thumbnail width or length away from the metal ferrule. Yeah, take care of your brushes, they'll take care of you. So there you go. We'll turn that one back over. Looks better. Next is a sanding block. I realize that you can make your own, or you can just use wood, but it's nice to have a little sanding block around. And back to the paint section, a little container of razor blades. Keep them out of reach of children, of course. It's always good for scraping tape off windows or scraping paint off glass or something like that. Next, stud finder, very important. And this one works very, very well. It's powered by a 9-volt battery. Little soft things here to not scratch your wall. This works very well. Next is a good pry bar. I have 3 actually. This is a nail pick. This is not a pry bar. And yeah, just kind of an older one. Seen a lot of prying and pulling and what have you. Blah, blah, blah. Now, getting back to our tool bag, I do have a couple things in here. Got a speed square for marking lines. And what else? This one of my faves, a nice file. Now, this is a metal file, not a wood rasp. I use this for sharpening the lawnmower blades. It's really important to have a sharp blade on your lawnmower. It's better for your grass. And while there are ones that you can put on your drill, if you do this every time or every other time you cut your grass, it just keeps that blade nice and sharp. And these files are very effective at keeping that edge sharp on your lawnmower blade. So that is definitely a go-to tool to have for a homeowner. Next, and probably the last couple things in here. Now, you may not need a hammer this big, but I like it. Works for me. Different hammers do different things. So if you need just something, you don't need an aggressive head on there with the dimples. And here's just another nail pick. These work great for just pulling nails out of boards. Next on the list is our utility knives. Always good to have a couple of knives. Different knives do different things, and this has been a great one. This one here, of course, needs a blade, but having something small and a bit more sturdy of a blade is always good for different things you have around the house. Then our bits. Now, it's always good to have a little container for your bits to fit into. Here I have a couple different sizes. This is a number 1 Robertson, number 2 Robertson. Of course, they come in different lengths. Here's Phillips. And of course, we all know Robertson is way better than Phillips. Always has been, always will be. These ones just help to not sink your head too deep into the wood. It doesn't really work for drywall, but plywood and other things like that. And of course, a little Torx bit. So there's a pretty good collection of things. I also wanted to share this with you, which is a little electrical tester that you can put into a wall socket or on a wire to find out if there's a charge coming through the line. This works very well and will save you from shocks or clamps. A couple different kinds of clamps. You never know when you have to glue something together. Tape works well for some things, but clamps help that glue to set up. So wanted to say clamps, jig clampets, and our fastener container. This is an old one. It works very well, and it just enables us to keep track of clamps and other things that we need. And nothing falls out. There you go. Always good to have a selection of screws and other things around. That's it for us for today. A short episode. Just wanted to cover over the tools that work really well for new homeowners. Thanks very much everyone for watching.